So first, I'm not sure it's a red flag or what. This is probably the most challenging certification by PMI, the most difficult certification. The one that you did earlier, ACP, is probably the easiest. PMP is in the middle, right? So this is the most
Yeah.
challenging certification, okay? But we're gonna do it, okay?
Yeah.
So if I talk about introduction, so first let's talk about eligibility criteria. So eligibility you already aware of. You need to have 4 years of project management experience plus 4 years of program management experience. So in total, 8 years, right? With a bachelor's degree. So if you have bachelor's degree and 8 years of professional experience, you are eligible for this exam. Okay, if I talk about exam, so you will be having roughly 170 questions, right? And in order to respond to 170 questions, you will be having 4 hours, right? So this is the total time that you will be having in the exam. Okay.
It's same as that of PMP?
Sorry?
It's same like the PMP? PMP also around 170 question, right?
PMP is 180 questions and 230 minutes. So that's the only difference.
Okay.
Here we have 240 minutes. Additional 10 minutes and 10 number of questions are less as compared to PMP, okay? But the catch is in PMP, we have break after 60 questions, like 10 minutes additional break and then 10 minutes break. So we have additional 20 minutes for break. So total time in PMP is 250 minutes. But here, breaks are included in 240 minutes. So if you want to take the break, there is no additional time. So clock would keep on ticking, right? So let's say you completed 60 questions and you go to the break, clock would not stop. So it's up to you how much time you spend outside. And when you come back, it will be, let's say, from 80 minutes to 89 minutes, right? So that's the difference. Okay. So most of the question, like all the questions would be multiple choice questions, MCQs. You can expect some questions where you need to select more than one option, multi-select, right? Multi-selection. This exam is not available online, so you will be having center-based exam, okay? But the difference between PMP and PgMP is that in the application process. The application process for PgMP is that the first you will be submitting your application. You will be submit application and it will go through normal review process, either audit or review, whatever, okay? So review process. Let's say your application is approved, okay? This is relatively easier. You'll go through this. Once the application is approved, we move to step 2, which we call panel review. But before panel review, PMI asks you to process exam fee. Now, exam fee varies from region to region. For members, I think for India, it's $600, if I'm not wrong, roughly $600. Okay, once you pay for the exam, then step 3 is your application is submitted for panel review. They call it first assessment. Panel review is a group of program management professionals. They will be reviewing your application. So a group of program management professionals, they will be reviewing your application. And most of the time, what I have seen is applications got rejected at this point. Now, what is meant by rejection here? So they will ask you to add more information, right? Or rewrite your application. Then you submit again. In case it's not aligned with their requirements, they ask you to resubmit it. So after 2 rounds, in case still you're not able to satisfy their requirement, then they close their application. Then they ask you to submit again. So this process take up to 60 days, up to 60 days maximum, right? But I have seen on average, they take 7 to 10 days to approve the audit, panel review. In case your application is rejected by panel review, then they will be refunding all the fee that you will be paying. So you won't be losing any money in either case, okay? After your panel review is over, then step 4, you can take the exam. And exam, as we discussed, 170 question in 240 minutes. Is it clear? Any questions so far?
So in case of rejection, how many times we can restart the whole application process? Is there any limit to that one?
There is no limit to that.
Okay.
There is no limit to that. You can submit your application again and again until it is approved. Okay. Now let's talk about what we will be covering in this course, or what is included in the exam content outline. There are 7 domains, right? In PMP these days, there are 3 domains: people, process, and business, right? People, process, and business. Here we have 5 domains. So first one is strategic program alignment, right? Second one is program life cycle. Third one is benefits alignment. Then we have stakeholders engagement. And last one is governance. Now, if I talk about percentage, this is roughly 15% of the exam. This is 44% of the exam. Benefits alignment is 11% of the exam, right? This is 16% of the exam, and this is 14% of the exam. So this is how your overall course is structured. 5 domains, okay, right. So our plan is to complete at least this today, okay, strategic program alignment. If I talk about passing criteria again, as for PMP, they don't discuss, they don't share that. So roughly I have seen it's similar to that, 70%. So if somebody gets 70% of the marks in the mock test, means they are ready to take the PgMP exam. So this is the overall process and everything. If you have any question about it, feel free to ask. Any question?
Any questions? Am I eligible for this one? Because I don't have any program management specific experience, even though it demands 4 years. What do you think? I'm a bit concerned on that one. The
Okay.
rest, I'm not worried. The exam part and everything, it's all okay.
Okay, see, it all depends on how we present that experience, right? So whatever work you have done, right? You might have worked on similar related projects, right? Multiple projects.
Yes.
So we can present that as program management experience.
Okay.
It all depends on how we present that experience, right? So we'll try to make sure that our work is aligned with PMI requirements. So that's not an issue.
Okay.
Right. So let's start with the introduction. Introduction of program management. So you know what is project? Project is a simple, an individual endeavor, temporary and unique, right? That's a project. Let's talk about program. What's your understanding? What is a program? What is a program?
Program, it's a group of similar or related projects,
Okay. Group of
related projects,
related projects.
or um, subsidiary programs or the
Okay.
program activities that
Perfect.
together will be contributing uh, a benefit or outcome which we cannot achieve when they are treated individually.
Perfect. So group of related projects managed in a coordinated fashion, right? To achieve common benefit, which you're not able to achieve if you manage them individually, right? Can you please give me any example of a program? Any example that comes to your mind?
Car manufacturing.
Okay, car manufacturing, how it is a program.
So it will have similar related projects like battery manufacturing and all, which
Okay,
will be a separate project. But
okay,
together, it will be contributing a one thing, that is the car.
okay, perfect, absolutely. So for example, it has, let's say, design of engine, right? Battery, right? Or body, let's say. Now, engine itself could be treated as a separate project, right? It could be unique, it's time bound, so it's a separate project. Collective management of all these endeavors is called program management, right? So
Correct.
program management is not about manufacturing engine, right? Or designing an engine. And program management is not about designing a single battery or body. Program management is coordination and collaboration among these endeavors. So this is program management. You understand?
Understood.
Each individual project would be managed by respective project managers. Now, coordination and collaboration among these project managers or projects, that's the job of program manager. Because if we don't do that, we won't be able to get the product or a functional product or a functional car. Let's take another example. We let's say smart city program. Smart city program. Now, in the smart city program, let's say there are various endeavors, right? For example, we can consider various examples in the smart city program. For example, we have uh, city-wise free Wi-Fi or Wi-Fi availability, internet connection, right? We have smart street lights, right? Automatic street lighting system. Let's say we have traffic sensors, automated traffic sensing system, right? Installation of cameras, right? Installation of cameras. Now you see all of these different projects, right? Citywide Wi-Fi availability, automatic traffic or emergency services, sensors. All of these are individual projects, but all these projects, they contribute to same shared or common benefit. That is Smart city. You understand that?
Understood.
So, group of projects which contribute to the common benefit, right? We
Mm.
call them related projects. And managing them in a coordinated fashion to achieve that common benefit is called program management. If we don't manage them in a coordinated fashion, then it would lead to inefficiency. There could be multiple outcomes of this, right? For example, what do you think? What could be the possible outcome if we don't manage them in a coordinated fashion? What comes to your mind?
Resource issues, maybe budget outruns.
How budget outruns? Let's say we have 100 million for each.
Mm.
How budget outrun? Why?
Uh, it's a coordinated, if we are not doing that in a coordinated fashion, maybe the resources will have to account for the risk associated with that one. Maybe some individual projects may exceed the timeline.
Okay. Then what? Then what? I mean,
Then
how program management can stop a project from, over budgeting or behind scheduling? How?
so the program manager will have a vision, right? He will be
Right.
having visibility into each of the individual projects.
Mm-hmm.
So, in case if he feels that one project is not performing as per the agreed timelines, maybe he can think about adjusting that from the remaining components somehow.
Okay.
Adjust the timelines, pay more attention into the that individual project, and somehow manage everything well, so that it will be contributing to the right business outcome.
Right. Okay. So absolutely, you're right. If one project is falling behind, you can compensate by replanning or adjusting, right? As a
Yes.
program manager, you can say, okay, you need to expedite other activities, right? So yes, absolutely, you can do that. Okay. Now let's list down some of the problems one by one. So one of the problems could be, let's say, if you don't manage these activities in a coordinated fashion, right? What would happen? Wi-Fi availability, automatic street lighting, traffic sensor. So we call a dependency that is called functional dependency. Functional dependency. We also use a word interface for this. No, functional. Functional means in order for a product to function properly, all of its components work simultaneously. So if we want a safe city, right, all of these components should work simultaneously, right? Wi-Fi should be available, automatic street lighting system should be working, traffic sensors, they should be working, right? Cameras should be working, right? And they should assist each other. For example, let's say we need to provide power to all of these different components. All these needs power, right? Power supply. And do you understand?
Mm. Yes, I can go for.
If we do not manage these components together, there would be resource duplication.
Mm.
As we discussed earlier, if you don't manage these components together, they would lead to inefficiency, right? And first inefficiency is resource duplication. Second thing is duplication in terms of activities or scope duplication. Different projects would be doing similar work, right? For example, they say, okay, we need to install cameras, right? Okay, we need to provide internet services to those cameras. So let's install a separate internet connection. And same internet connection is required for, let's say, for lighting or traffic sensor and other different components. So there would be scope duplication, right? And
Mm.
there would be Uh, Resource duplication. Okay. Apart from duplication, as we discussed, all of these things should work simultaneously, right? They should be integrated with each other. If we don't manage them together or if we don't integrate them, overall system will collapse. Because system as a whole should be working to achieve that benefit. Let's say uh, cameras are working, traffic sensors are working, automatic street lighting is, but Wi-Fi is not available. Do you think you would be achieving the intended purpose of that smart, safe city?
Wi-Fi too. Yeah.
Right? So everything should be working simultaneously or functioning simultaneously. Right? So that for that, what you need is you need integration. So if you don't manage them together, there won't be integration. And if there is no integration, there is no functionality. So remember this. So for functional purposes, what we do is we make sure that we manage them as a group of project. Again, conflicting priorities. Different components will be having different priorities. So it's a problem of resource allocation as well. So as a program manager, you define which component is more important for my program at this point in time. What's the sequence? You understand? Does it make sense?
Yes.
So you set the priorities. So conflicting priority problem is. Then there are some risks which arise as a result of combination of work or collective work. Let's say if I have to just provide Wi-Fi, maybe it's easier, right? But if I need to provide Wi-Fi for all different components, maybe I need bigger bandwidth. You understand that? Does it make sense? So if I have more components, I need stronger Wi-Fi. So there is a risk that is associated with multiple components. So if you're doing an activity for one project, it's easier to do that. But if you're doing that particular activity for 10 projects, it's riskier. You understand that? Does it make sense? So
Yes.
now this risk, the program is exposed to this risk because of multiple activities, right? So because of having multiple projects, you expose to program level risks. So we have unmanaged risks, which are caused because of collective work. Unmanaged risk. For example, let's say it's a simple example. You need to provide resources for all these projects, right? If you're managing just one project versus you're managing five projects, what do you think? Where it is easy to provide resources? Of course, and to an individual projects. But if you need to provide resources to five projects, resource risk level would go up. Does it make sense? It's
Yes.
difficult to manage. So there are unmanaged risk associated to priorities, associated to availability of people, availability of resources, right? All of these things. Now, these are the problems when it comes to, and also when it comes to managing these projects independently or individually, there is a problem of accountability. Accountability of final outcome. So same example that you gave earlier, car example. Let's say the engine manufacturing team, they say we have manufactured or designed the most efficient engine, the most efficient battery is designed, the most efficient exterior is designed, right? The most efficient other car systems are designed. Everybody has done their job, but car is not functioning. Why? Because it can't function until everything is integrated. And do you understand? Now everybody would be saying they have done their part of job. Then why car is not functioning? You understand that?
Yes.
So there is a lack of accountability, no accountability for the common benefit, for the bigger outcome that we are looking for. So these are some of the problems that we face, and of course coordination problem, collaboration problem. So these are not common challenges when you manage interdependent projects as individual endeavors. So that's why there is a need of grouping them together. And then comes the role of program manager, right? Okay. Now let's say what exactly a program manager does. The topic that we will be discussing later, but it's relevant here. It would be easier to explain here. Program manager actually manage these things. That's the job of program manager. Okay. For example, let me write it here. First and easy and simple thing, dependency management. That's the job of program manager. Because program components are interrelated, they are interconnected, they are interdependent. Now we have discussed that interdependence could be from multiple perspective, from scope perspective, from resource perspective, right? And maybe let's say you have one component and you can have an outcome from this. This outcome is required for another component to kickstart. You understand? Does it make sense?
Yes.
So this is component 2, project 2. This is component 1. So again, so this is your interdependence. Now this would be managed by program manager. This is the job of program manager, to manage interdependence among various initiatives. Now interdependence could be from resource perspective, right? It could be from resource perspective. You're using shared resources. Same resources are being used for multiple projects. If same resources are being used for multiple projects, right, then it's the job of program manager to decide this particular resource would be available to project A from this duration to this, for project B from this to this, for project C from this to this. You understand that?
Yes.
So dependency management. There's a similar word that we use for that is called integrated planning. Integrated planning. Making sure that your plans are integrated. So program project manager 1, they have developed their plans. Project manager 2 have developed their plans. Now you need to integrate them together. So this is called integrated planning. So creating and maintaining a master program roadmap or program management plan, right? To make sure that all these components are aligned with each other. There's another term that is called strategic alignment. What's your understanding? What's your understanding? What is this?
Strategic alignments means aligning to the organization's need or
Right.
the outcome.
Okay. That's right. But how? Let's talk about from practical perspective. Okay. Forget about theory.
Mm.
If we talk about practical perspective, how does this work in real life? What comes to your mind? What's the need of strategic alignment at program level?
Um, yeah, when it comes to the smart city, the objective is to get that whole thing done, right? So the strategic alignments means everything has to be in place, perfectly aligned with all the stakeholder alignment, the business requirement, the timeline, the budget, overall alignment. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right. Theoretically, you're right. I mean, from theory perspective, you're right. But I couldn't understand what's the need of this alignment. Like, how does actually this work? You said it should be aligned with the stakeholders. What does that mean? You're saying to the needs of the stakeholder. This is what you're saying?
Not just the needs of the stakeholders, it includes everyone, those who are working in the projects, those who are consuming the end results, those who has got the vision of what we are
All of
doing.
these are stakeholders. Again, it's
Yes,
the same thing.
yeah.
Okay, so shouldn't it be scope management then? Managing scope, that's where we actually talk about needs and requirements. No? Why we're calling it as strategic alignment? Why we don't say scope management or scope alignment?
Strategic alignments means there will be something driving the program itself, right?
Okay?
That thing.
Yeah, you're right. That makes now you're on the right path. So see, every program should be having some objective,
Yes.
right? As we
Mm,
discussed in this case, smart city,
mm,
right? Or the modern city or whatever. Now, the definition of smart would keep on changing.
mm,
You understand? With new technology, with new advancement, right? For example, right now we have AI, artificial intelligence, right? You understand that?
yes, yes.
So maybe now you say the previous technology, which was considered smart, is not smart anymore
Mm,
because now we have smarter technologies.
mm,
Now, your objective has changed. You understand that?
yes.
When your objective is changed, then you need to change the program. What I mean by changing the program, maybe you need to modify your scope. You understand
Mm,
that? You need
okay.
to remove old equipment or technology and you need to add new one. So this modification in your program components to achieve that alignment with the changing needs of the organization or of the business environment, this is called strategic alignment. Aligning yourself to the changing needs, changing circumstances. You understand that? This is what
Yes.
we call strategic alignment. So, what do you think? What's the best time to do this strategic alignment?
Throughout the program?
Throughout the program, absolutely. From formulation till closure. Throughout the program, we need to align our program to the strategic objective of the organization. And as a result of alignment, what happens? Maybe you need to drop some of the components. You understand that? Let's say
Yes.
your objective is um, green technology, environment friendly technology, right? That's what
Mm,
you're working on. And now and you're working on various initiatives. One of the initiatives is developing efficient cars. Now, to achieve this, maybe you need to remove all the operations or the work that you're doing on, fuel based cars, fuel
mm,
powered cars, right?
mm.
Just a second, please. So yeah, so in order to align with the strategic objective of the organization, you may need to discontinue some of the work. You may need to add new work and you need to modify the work. So this modification, addition, deletion is called strategic alignment, and this is done throughout the life of the program. Okay, what's the baseline for this? What's the baseline for this? I'm asking this question from exam perspective. What's the baseline for strategic alignment? What's the reference? Let me make it easier. Anju, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are.
Yeah. What's the baseline? What's the reference point for this?
Mm, the changing market conditions.
Changing market conditions. Okay. Right. Anything else?
The the acceptable variance when it comes to the budget.
Okay. Acceptable variance when it comes to the budget. Okay, perfect. So typically we say we actually before we go to the market, we have other levels within the organizations, right? So for
Yes.
example, we have portfolio on top of that.
Mm.
We have portfolio strategic plan, and then we have organizational strategic plan. Because when we say strategic alignment, we say aligned to the strategic objective of the organization. You understand that? Does it make sense? So on
Yes, yes.
top, we have organizational strategic objective, right? Organizational objective. Under organizational objective, we have portfolios. Under portfolios, we have programs, right? And under programs, we have projects. Now, all of these things should be aligned with the strategic objective of the organization. So our baseline is organizational strategic objective. Whenever there is a change in organizational strategic objectives, everything would be changed. You
Mm.
understand that? So this is
Yes.
what we call strategic alignment. So this is the job of a program manager to tell project managers, okay, you need to add this, you need to remove this, you need to modify this. So this is a continuous activity, strategic alignment. Does it make sense? You understand why we are discussing this point?
Yes.
So strategic alignment is one of the core functions or roles of the program manager. Another is we talked about dependency, coordination, and collaboration. Coordination and collaboration among projects, right? That's also the job of program manager. The program manager needs to develop frameworks to ensure seamless coordination and collaboration among different components of the program. Again, stakeholders engagement at the program level, not at the project level, right?
Mm.
Stakeholders engagement, resource optimization, because shared resource, when we use shared resource optimization is also the job of program manager, right? Managing changes, change management, right? Change management, program reporting. Now, all of these are roles and responsibilities of program manager. Anything else that you think program manager should be doing, Anju? What comes to your mind? Anything else?
Leadership.
Leadership, yeah, obviously. All levels are leadership. Leadership is required at all levels, at project level, at program level, at portfolio level.
Mm.
So why we are discussing this? Because we need to understand as a program manager what we should be doing and what we shouldn't be doing. Okay.
Mm.
Next part of our discussion is what program manager should not do.
So actually, that's a very tricky and difficult question, isn't it?
Yeah,
What a program manager should be doing, we can easily think of. What should not be doing, that's very difficult.
because why we are talking about is in the exam, you'll see question who should be doing this.
Mm.
Project manager, program manager, PMO, right? So for
Mm.
that, this should be very clear to us. Okay, tell me any activities which come to your mind. And hint is all the activities which are doing by other components, right?
Yeah. Mm. Uh, it's a program, so it should not be viewed from a project perspective.
Okay,
The changes should be welcome.
okay. Yeah,
Mm.
you're right, you're right. But you know what I'm saying? I'm saying let's say you are a program manager, okay?
Mm.
And you have multiple project managers. On
Mm.
top of you, you have portfolio managers.
Mm.
So, what are the activities that you shouldn't be doing? You shouldn't be involving yourself in those activities. Let others do those activities. That's my question.
Defining the organizational outcomes or
Okay, absolutely right. That perfect. Defining organizational objectives. That's not program manager's job. Perfect. Organizational strategic objective. This is the job of senior leadership. Perfect. What else? What else?
mm, formulating the program management
Hmm.
uh, guidelines or processes.
Who should be doing that?
It's the duty of the PMO
Okay,
organization,
right,
right?
right. From that perspective, it's right. For example, you're saying standardization, standard
Yeah,
processes.
standardized.
Perfect. Absolutely right. This is the job of PM. So meanwhile, we're learning what other functions do within the organization. So this is really important point. Standard processes are developed by PMOs, not by any other function. Perfect. Anything else? You're on the right track. What else comes to your mind?
Mm, defining the changes
Defining the changes.
or deciding the way acceptable variance, maybe.
Who
No,
should be doing that?
that actually the program managers should do.
Yeah.
Mm,
Okay. So, for example, they shouldn't be involved in project level. They should
mm,
not be developing project schedule, right?
mm,
They shouldn't be defined project scope. They shouldn't be involved at project level reporting, right?
mm,
All the project level activities,
mm,
project level risks. That's the job of project manager, not program manager. Okay.
mm,
So managing project schedule, tracking day-to-day progress, managing the project budget, managing project team, resources at project level, that's not the job of program manager. So you'll see a lot of question in the exam where they say who should be doing this, right?
mm.
So please pay attention. If the activity is at the project level, that's the job of uh, project manager, not
Okay.
program manager. If the activity is at the program level, then that's the job of program manager. You understand that?
Yes.
All the activities at the project level, that's the job of project manager. Also, let's say making investment decision. Who should be doing this?
The sponsors,
Sponsors, okay. What else?
higher management.
Okay. What name do we have specifically for this level of management within the organization?
The
What
C-level executives.
C-level executives? Okay. We use word portfolio managers.
Okay. Okay. I'm forgetting that one. We have
No problem.
portfolio also, right? On
Yeah,
top of this program.
yeah,
Yeah.
portfolio managers. So
Okay.
if I just develop that umbrella again, right? It's something like this. On top, you have OPM. They define organizational vision, organizational mission, and organizational objectives, right? Under that, we have portfolio managers. And the job of portfolio managers is to define portfolios or to make investment decisions, where to invest and where not to invest. They select projects and programs. They do prioritization to maximize benefit. Under this, we have program, right? And the job of program manager is management of related components. managing interdependence. Right? Managing interdependence. And under that, we have project management. Project management is management of individual components, managing scope, schedule, and cost. You understand that? And on the other side, we have operations. Let's say here. Operations, what is operation, Anju?
It's a continued thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Management of continuous activity, business as usual, which is repetitive in nature, nothing unique. Right? As project is unique and temporary. Right? And here you have another function that we call PMO, Program Management Office or Project Management Office. There are three types of PMOs. If you could recall, what are three types of PMOs?
Have no clue.
Okay, no problem. So we have supportive PMO, controlling PMO, and directive PMO, primarily these three. Now, the job of PMO is to develop standard procedures, right? Standard procedures, standardization within the organization, right? That's the job of PMO. So supportive PMO, it provides support. What kind of support a PMO can provide to program managers?
Training.
Training, perfect. Perfect training. What else?
Ensure alignment when it comes to the higher management engagement and all.
Okay, higher management engagement. So see, support.
The tools and the tools, techniques and everything they can provide.
Yeah, absolutely. You can ask for tools, you can ask for resources, you can ask for coordination and collaboration. You can
Yes.
ask them to develop templates for you, right? You can ask for data. So they assist you, right?
Yeah.
Controlling PMO, they ensure some sort of control on your program, right? How they ensure control? By doing plan versus actual. And they make sure you follow those processes. So they ensure compliance. We also call them as a police function,
Mm.
which ensure compliance that you need to follow rules. And directive PMO, it's the government that takes over everything. You understand that? It has the ultimate authority. Right? It takes over your program. So program manager would be directly reporting to directive PM. Program manager
Okay.
would be directly reporting to directive PM. Otherwise, they would be reporting to, let's say, their, portfolio if it is part of portfolio. Now, this is a typical hierarchy of an organization. In this course, our focus is only on the program level, managing related or interdependent work. That's it. We won't be talking about this, no discussion about this, no discussion about this, right? Only discussion would be about program management. Okay, there are two important roles when it comes to program. One is called program sponsor. Second is called program manager. If we want to add, so for example, we have program management team. Right, and we have project managers. Right, we have project management teams. We have PMOs. Now, these are typical roles within a program, but primarily two roles are really important. One is called program sponsor. Program sponsor. Okay. And second is program manager. What's your understanding? Who is program sponsor?
The program sponsor is the one who has got the vision, who is driving the initiative when it
Okay.
comes to the.
Who is driving the initiative?
Yeah.
Right, driving the initiative. Do you think it's the client?
It could be, or it could be within the organization itself.
Yeah, absolutely. So primarily when we say sponsor, sponsor is someone within the organization. We also call them program champion.
Hmm.
And as you mentioned, someone who is driving the program, someone who is leading the program. What do you think? What's their job? What's their role? What exactly they do?
They define the business objectives.
Okay.
They give the approvals to the program manager. They guide them.
Guidance. What else? Approval,
They support the initiative.
support. Perfect. What else? So imagine that person in real, what that person might be doing. What comes to your mind?
He's leading the change.
Okay. I mean, what activities that person would be doing? Imagine the person comes to office at 9 o'clock in the morning, what that person would be doing.
He'll be getting all the updates from the program manager.
Absolutely, absolutely. Oversight, monitoring. Very important. Getting all the updates, status, what's happening, right? Okay, what else? What else? Just think about it. The person has just come to office. What next? They ask for, reporting. What else?
Making sure the roadmap and everything is in a good position.
Okay. If you are a program manager, what are your expectations from that person? Do you need anything from that person?
Budget.
Absolutely.
Support. Fund
Funds.
support. Yeah, sir.
Funds availability, super important. So it's the job of sponsor to provide funds and resources. So if you are program manager, you will say, okay, I need these funds, right? Okay. If you are a program manager, what else? Imagine you are visiting that person's office, what that conversation would be, what you will be expecting, what they will be expecting. Apart from funds and availability, what else?
The tangible outcomes, maybe.
What do you mean by that?
Report on that one. So, okay, maybe that is covered already in the
Yeah,
morning.
we talked about reporting already. What else?
Assistance in mitigating the risks.
Absolutely. Resolution of issues. If there is an issue and you need help, you may talk to them. Okay, this is the issue. This is related to government. So we call it escalation. Right? So where their intervention is needed, you will be escalating that particular issue to them. Okay, this is the issue and we need your support in that, right? or let's say we need to talk to another organization, we need their support, please talk to them. So maybe you ask them to do coordination, right? Provide you support, right? Give you advice, guidance, right? Now, this is the role of sponsor when it comes to program. So they are ultimately accountable for the success of the program. So accountability lies with the program sponsor. And do you understand?
Yes.
Any confusion about it between sponsor and manager?
No.
Sponsor appoints program manager, right? So appointment of program manager. Sponsor delegates authority or authorization, right? This is done by program manager. Sponsor provides approvals. You talk about approvals somewhere here. What kind of approvals? What kind of approvals? Anju?
Approvals within the organization as well as the external third-party organizations, which is included when it comes to the program scope.
Okay. Could you please give me any example of approval? Like if you are a program manager, what kind of approval you need?
For the program from the sponsor.
Like what approval? Approval for what? What you want to do and you want to take the approval?
Approval for the changes.
Yeah, absolutely. Approval for the changes. Okay. What else?
Budget, funds,
Okay. Funds approval, perfect. What else?
resource,
Okay, resources. What else?
mm,
Yes, absolutely, you're right. So these are primarily main thing. Also, when it comes to program and program, we have discussed is collection of multiple initiatives, right?
yes,
For example, let's say this is project one, and then you have project two somewhere here, right? And let's say then you have project three, and then you have project four, something like that. So whenever you're going to kickstart any component, let's say here, you need approval from the sponsor. Are we good to kickstart? Can we do that? Right? Because with that approval, it has authorization for funding and resources. You understand that? So
yes,
whenever you're going to kickstart something, you need approval. And also, when you're going to close something, you need approval. Yes, we have done our part of job. Please review it. You understand that? Does it make sense? So
yes,
at the start of component, at the end of the component, and if you want to modify any component, you need approval. That is similar to change that you have already discussed. Right? So these approvals are needed by sponsor. Okay. Since we're talking about roles, one more thing, and then we'll talk about program lifecycle. There's another important thing when it comes to program, and that is the role of governance board. This is also called program steering committee. What's your understanding? What is governance board?
governance board or steering committee could be a group of people
Mm-hmm.
who can be a sponsor, but
Okay.
ideally not recommended. For short term, maybe they can assume the role of a sponsor who will be guiding the program initiatives from a high level.
Absolutely. So we talked about that role of sponsor. All the things that we discussed, they are done by governance board, and governance board is headed by a sponsor. You understand? So governance board is group of people who provide these approvals, right? Who ensure funds are available, ensure alignment to the organizational objective, ensure oversight and monitoring, right? And who provide guidance or direction to component managers. This is the ultimate authority when it comes to managing your program. So program managers would be reporting to governance board. And within governance board, maybe we have some other committees, let's say change control board, CCB. So CCB would be assisting governance board to approve those changes. Typically, it is done by CCB, but they have levels. Like, for example, a change up to, let's say, 50K, that would be processed by program manager. A change up to, let's say, 100K, let's say by sponsor. A change 100K to 500K, let's say CCB. A change greater than 500K, governance board. You understand that? So this is defined. Anju, am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Perfect. Now, these are different roles when it comes to managing your program. Okay. Now, if I talk about what you should be reading, so if you go through the first section, right, it talks about what is program, what's the relationship of a program with portfolio and program components like operations and projects, right? What is business value? What is role of a program manager, right? What is role of program sponsor? What is role of PMO, right? So this is your chapter 1 introduction part of our discussion. If you have any confusion about it, feel free to ask. Then I'll jump to program life cycle. Any
Okay.
confusion about it?
No, till now, all good.
Perfect. Next thing is program life cycle.
So just one question, Amar. When it comes to the portfolio, how is it structured? It will have programs, then there will be standalone projects also, right?
Yeah.
So will there be projects which are not part of the portfolio in an organization?
Okay, let me help you with that. Now, what is a portfolio? That's a very good question. Portfolio is group of projects, programs, sub-programs, sub-portfolios, and operations. Now, let's understand a portfolio from an individual perspective. Let's say your portfolio. If I say, what is your portfolio? Right? Anju's portfolio, let's say. Right? So if I talk about this. So all the investments that you have made, that is your investment portfolio. I'm talking about investment portfolio, not work portfolio. So for example, let's say you have invested $50,000 in stocks, right? Let's say you have invested $20,000 in crypto. You have invested $80,000 in real estate, right? And you have, let's say, 200,000 in your bank's saving account. Now, this is your portfolio. This is Anju's portfolio. Everything that contributes to your profitability or your objective. What's your objective? Maximize profit, wealth. That's your goal. So anything that contributes to this goal, collection of that is called your portfolio. So this is your portfolio. You understand that?
Okay.
You might have heard, don't put all of your eggs in one basket. What you do, you diversify your investments. You invest in different sectors, different industries, right? So this is your portfolio. Now you see, stocks is an entirely different thing. Crypto is another different thing. Real estate is different. Banks, so everything is different. So for something to be portfolio, there shouldn't be any kind of connection in terms of nature of work or similarity. You understand that?
Okay.
But why this group is a group? Because it contributes to the strategic objective, profitability. All these different initiatives, they contribute to your profitability. So we call it your portfolio. Same is the case with the organizations. All the work that an organization is doing, that is called an organization's portfolio. So even if it is a project, is an individual project, it contributes to the profitability or whatever objective. So it's part of that portfolio. You understand that, Anju?
Okay.
So it will look like this. On top, we have portfolio. Within that portfolio could be multiple programs. Could be a sub portfolio here, right? Within this program, there could be multiple projects. Right? And in addition to that, there could be an individual project as well, which is not part of any program. And also operations. Now, this is your portfolio. You understand that? Because everything contributes to the organization's strategic objective. You understand that? Any confusion about it?
Okay.
Okay, let me ask you a question on it. If everything that contributes to the organization's strategic objectives, it means organization should have one portfolio because everything contribute that. Everything should be part of that portfolio. What do you think?
Yes, that is the OPM, right?
No, that is the OPM. But what I'm saying is, I said whatever contributes to the organizational strategic objective, that is part of your portfolio. This is what we discussed, right?
Yes.
It means everything should be part of portfolio. No, as you could see here, all programs, all projects, individual, everything operation, it falls under portfolio. So it means everything that an organization does falls under a portfolio. What do you think?
Yes.
Okay. There is a slight correction here. And the correction is that an organization can have multiple portfolios.
Okay.
You understand that?
Yes.
Let's say one portfolio is about sustainability. So all the work that you are doing under that contributes to sustainability, that is your one portfolio. You understand that?
Yes.
A portfolio can be classified based on strategic objectives. Let's say you have three strategic objectives, you can have three different portfolios. Each portfolio have multiple projects and program, and each is dedicated to their respective strategic objective. You understand that?
Yes.
And portfolios can also be classified.
Hello.
Can you
Hello,
hear
am I?
me? I don't know
Yeah.
how I got on mute. Okay. Am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, yes, you are. Yeah.
Okay. So portfolios can be classified based on strategic objectives, right?
Mm.
Portfolios can also be based on products.
Okay.
Let's say you have three products,
Mm.
right? Your organization develops three products.
Mm.
We can, let's say your organization manufactures cars, your organization manufacture bikes, motorbikes, and your car organization manufactures bicycles. Three things,
Mm.
right? Cars, motorbikes, and bicycles. Now your organization has three portfolios. All the work that you are doing under car portfolio, it's one portfolio. All the work that you are doing regarding motorbikes, all the products, that is motorbike portfolio, and all the work that you are doing for bicycle, that is bicycle portfolio. You understand that? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Now within that motorbike, there could be multiple projects, there could be operations, there could be programs. You understand that? Does it make sense? Program, projects, and operations, that is part of that motorbike portfolio,
Yeah.
because that contributes to your motorbike portfolio.
Okay. Understood.
Portfolios can also be based on geography. So can be based on strategic objective, can be based on, let's say, products, can be based on geography. All the work that you're doing in one country, that could be considered as one portfolio, right?
Mm.
For example, this is India's portfolio. This is UK portfolio. This is Dubai portfolio. You understand that?
Mm.
So
Okay.
you can classify portfolios on different grounds.
Mm.
So I hope you got idea what's the difference between project, program, and portfolio.
Mm. Okay, that's clear.
In this case, we assume that our program is part of a portfolio. Okay.
Mm.
But in question, you'll see this clearly mentioned. But just for better understanding, we'll assume that we are part of a portfolio. If we are part of a portfolio, we will be reporting who will be our sponsor if we are part of a portfolio.
The program, the sponsor itself, he will be a part of, he'll be leading the portfolio also.
Sorry?
The program sponsor itself,
Program sponsor. Who is program sponsor? That's my question.
um, he will be the one leading all the portfolios also.
Okay.
I mean, he'll be having a authority over the portfolio, not leading.
Okay. So you're right. The portfolio manager will be your program sponsor. You understand that? Does it make sense, Sanju? If you,
Portfolio manager will be your program sponsor.
yes. Who will be your boss if you are part
But
of a,
there could be multiple portfolios also, right? So the sponsor should ideally be the one who has got visibility into all the portfolios also.
no, 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 no. So see, this is a portfolio.
Mm.
It will be having a portfolio manager, right?
Mm.
So you will be reporting to this individual, right?
Mm.
So this is your sponsor.
Mm.
So this is program manager. This is portfolio manager. So you report to program manager, right?
Mm.
So this is your sponsor.
The sponsor can be outside of this portfolio also, right?
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, you're right. That's right. But in a typical, if we
Mm.
assume that, but you're right, absolutely. It could be outside of the portfolio as well.
Okay.
Right. So this is the basic hierarchy of the organization and different levels of management within the organization. So next is program life cycle. We'll take a short break. After the break, we'll be talking about program life cycle. Before we go to break, if you have any question, feel free to ask.
Yeah, I was going through the first chapter. There are two points which I'm not clear of.
Yeah.
One, the program structure, there are top-down approach and the bottom-up approach, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So can you go through that in a brief? That is one thing. And then there are three, trying to take that one. There are three things that distinguishes the programs with project, right? The uncertainty, change, and complexity. Can we talk about that also?
Yeah, sure. We'll be talking about that. So if you want me to talk now, I can, or after the break.
Yeah, we can talk now if you are okay.
Okay,
We
perfect.
can.
So see, when we talk about program versus project, okay, uncertainty, what is uncertainty? Uncertainty means risks, right?
Yes.
So program and projects, they vary from uncertainty perspective because uncertainty in projects is less as compared to program, right? Risks are relevant to both, for example, in projects as well as program, but impact varies, right?
Mm.
Because program has multiple projects, and if it has multiple projects, the scale of uncertainty would go up. You understand? Does it make sense?
Yes.
So one thing from uncertainty perspective is that projects as compared to program, right? They are limited, they are less exposed to risks, and programs, they have uncertainty greater than project level. So this is
Mm.
one difference between projects. So in simple words, it's the difference in scale, right?
Mm.
And if scale is different, the approach to manage that uncertainty would be different. So one
Mm.
aspect is uncertainty from uncertainty perspective. Second is managing change. When we say managing change at project level, it's within that particular scope, right? So we use change management for that, right? For example, you need to add a new feature, right, within that particular project. And you'll be talking about what's the impact of that change on cost, schedule, risks, and other factors. So this is project level change. But when it comes to change at the program level, right, we don't talk about scope changes at the component, okay? You please understand that. Because that's the job of project manager to manage changes in the scope.
Mm.
When it comes to managing changes at the program level, right, it's like changing the initiatives, adding or deleting components. You understand that? That the thing that we discussed earlier. One
Okay.
is managing scope within or managing features. Second is changing the entire program. You understand that?
Mm.
That's
Okay.
the difference between change management in program and at the project level, right? So
Mm.
program managers' approach to change is entirely different, right? Because they are based on strategic alignment with the organization and they change the components, not the features within that component. If there is a change in the feature, that would be managed by project manager. And do you understand? Does it make sense?
Yes. Yes. That makes sense.
So from change perspective, and third is complexity perspective, of course, program are complex, right? So why they are complex? Because again, it's similar to uncertainty because they are interdependent. Output from one component become input to the other component. Sequencing is important. Resource dependency is important. Resource sharing is important. Common benefit is important. So it's complex as compared to. So if you're doing one activity versus you're doing five activities, five are complex as compared to one.
Mm.
So this is how it is different from project versus program. Is it clear?
Okay, that's clear.
Okay. What was the other one you asked about?
That top-down approach and bottom-up approach when it comes to the program.
Okay. So see, when we say it's actually about how you initiate your program.
Yes.
Either you use so it's not how you formulate the program, it's about when you're going to initiate the program, what is top down approach or what is the bottom up approach.
Mm.
Top-down approach is what you do is you define overall goals and objectives, right? According to the organizational strategic objectives. So the hierarchy that we discussed on top, we have organizational hierarchy, right? So you define the high-level goal first, right? Whatever it is, let's say smart city. And within that smart city, what you do is you define projects. Okay. So this is called top-down approach. First, you define the high-level objective at the portfolio. So from portfolio to program to projects.
Okay.
Right? So this is a top-down approach. Okay. Bottom-up approach is you don't define the objective at the top. What you do is you see what work we are doing as an organization, right? Let's say you are working on 2-3 different projects. Okay. Let me write it here. Please pay attention. One is you define your portfolio. Okay. And you say, okay, within portfolio, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 programs. And within this program, there are multiple projects. Now, this is top-down approach. You understand that?
Yes.
Bottom-up is there is no portfolio, nothing. You're just doing bunch of projects, right? And you realized these two projects are related to each other. And you group them together. Now, this is bottom-up.
Okay.
You understand that?
Mm.
So one is
Grouping individual projects that are related and then defining it as a program.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely right. Right.
Okay.
So one, you look at the projects, and if they are relevant to each other, related to each other, you group them together to form a program. This is bottom up. Second is that's natural from portfolio to program to projects. That is top down. So this is the difference between these two. You understand that?
Okay. Yes.
All right. All right, Anju, are you there?
Yes, Samar, I'm here.
Okay. So we just had basic discussion about different management structure within the organization, right? And now we are going to talk a little bit about program lifecycle, right? Because program lifecycle is slightly different from project lifecycle. So first we'll be talking about project lifecycle. If you could recall something, what do we have in project lifecycle if you recall?
Project initiation,
Perfect.
planning,
Mm-hmm.
execution,
Perfect.
validation, and then closure.
So initiation followed by planning, then you said execution. What's the fourth one?
Execution, validation,
Okay, yes, we call it
monitoring,
monitoring and controlling.
then closure.
And last one is closure. Perfect. Sorry, just a second. Yes. So this is our project life cycle. So we initiate project, right? We do planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closure. This is life of a project life cycle. So projects are like that. We initiate them, we plan them, we execute them, right? We monitor and control them. Now, program life cycle is slightly different from this. There are primarily 3 stages in the program life cycle. Let me write here. Program life cycle. So first, we have program definition or formulation, right? Then we have program delivery, right? And then we have program closure or program transition. Let me label these first. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So there are 3 stages in the program lifecycle, right? Definition and delivery, and last one is your closure. Okay, now this is really interesting when we say from, project perspective. So this is definition, right? This is delivery, and this is closure. Okay. Definition is further divided into 2 sub-phases. So first is this one. And let me draw a second this one. First one is called formulation. Second is called planning. Third one is called execution, right? Or delivery, right? And last one is called closure. Closure is further divided into 2. We call them transition and last one is sustainment. Right? Now, this is your program life cycle, right? Program life cycle. Okay. Now, question is, okay, first is formulation. So we can say this is similar to initiation, similar to planning, right? Closure is similar to closure. Question is what we should be doing in the delivery stage. You understand that? So first is you initiate your program, that is called program formulation. And do you understand?
Yes.
And then you have program planning.
Mm.
And then you have delivery, then you have transition, and then you have sustainment. Remember, in the program delivery stage, what we do is we deliver projects. You understand that?
Yes.
Because delivery of program is done through delivery of projects. Okay. So during the delivery stage of your program, right? What we do is we run project lifecycle like this. So we have project initiation. Sorry, project initiation, project planning, project execution, project closure, and on top of that, monitoring and controlling. You understand that? So this is initiation, this is planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closure. Right? So within the delivery stage of your program, you run projects. So if I ask you, in which program phase project charter is approved, what would be your answer?
Planning. The initial planning phase.
Again, let me repeat my question. In which program phase project charter is approved? This is my question.
Delivery.
In delivery, absolutely. I hope you understand that.
Yes.
Why? Because at the delivery stage, you initiate projects.
Okay.
In the delivery stage, you initiate projects. So
Yes.
all project related activities are done during the delivery stage of your program. So please try to understand that. This is really important from exam perspective. Whenever you see a question, first make sure if it is regarding projects or program.
Mm.
You understand that? If it is
Okay.
projects or program.
Mm.
If it is regarding project, most of the work that we do here is done in the delivery stage of your program.
Okay.
And all the program project life cycles run in delivery stage of your program life cycle. Let's say you have another project. So it would be
Mm.
something like this. Right?
Mm.
Let's say this is one project. You want to initiate another project, so it would be something like this, right?
Mm.
You want to initiate another project, something like this. Does it make sense? You understand? So
Yes.
all projects are run within the delivery stage of your program. And
Mm.
then you combine them together to transition the integrated benefit. Any question about it? Anything that you couldn't understand?
Oh, clear.
It's clear? You
Mm.
understand?
Yes.
Okay, so please remember this. Whenever you see a question, focus on this because most of the question they will ask you project versus program. So read them carefully. Whenever you
Mm.
see a question, read that carefully. Okay. So this is regarding program lifecycle. So definition, delivery, and closure. And in each stage, what you do is you talk about uh, uh, in delivery stage, you talk about products. Okay, now let's see what do we do in formulation stage. What is formulation? This is similar to initiation, right?
Mm.
And what do we do in project initiation, if you recall?
Mm. Define the scope statement or
So,
the charter. Charter.
charter, absolutely perfect. So program charter is defined. You understand that? Does it make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Program charter is defined, right? We
Mm.
also develop business case.
Mm.
We also develop and we do all initial assessments. So this is done during the formulation stage of your program. You understand that? Does it make sense?
Yes. Yes.
During the formulation stage of your program, you will be developing program charter.
Mm.
And all initial studies are done here with the help of business case. Okay,
Mm.
what we would be doing in the planning stage of program? What's your understanding? What comes to you?
So program planning.
Program planning, absolutely. So we develop program management plan. You understand that?
Yes.
And what is program management plan? It is collection of all the plans. Collection of all the plans. For example, your scope management plan, your schedule management plan, your cost, but of program, not of project.
Mm.
You understand that? Cost
Yes.
of total program,
Mm.
information management plan, financial management plan, right? Risk management plan, communication plan, stakeholders plan. You understand that? Does it make sense?
Yes. Yes.
All the plans are developed here. And once plans are developed, we jump into the delivery stage. And what do we do in delivery stage? In delivery stage, we initiate components. Whenever you see the word component, it means projects.
Mm.
You understand? Does it make sense?
Yes.
Components means projects. Okay.
Mm.
So we initiate components, right? Here
Mm.
we initiate them, we plan them, we execute them, monitor and conclude, and then we integrate them together. So that's what we do during the delivery stage.
Mm.
Okay, during delivery stage, this is being done by project managers, right?
Mm.
What's the job of program manager during this stage?
Coordinate everything.
Coordination or monitoring and controlling.
Yes. Mm.
See, there is no monitoring and controlling here.
Mm.
Because in delivery stage, that's the only job of program manager.
Mm.
You understand? Does it make sense?
Yes.
During the delivery stage of your program manager ensure coordination and oversight on program components, right?
Mm.
So you do communication, you do reporting, right? You do information distribution, you do stakeholders engagement, costing, budgeting, alignment, risk assessment, all those things at program level. Okay, you understand
Mm.
that? And then
Yes.
we have program closure. In closure, what we do, we transition the program, right?
Mm. Mm.
Transition means formal handing over to the recipient organization, handing over to the recipient organization.
Okay.
And handing over closure, this is similar to the closure, like documenting lessons learned, right? Documenting lessons learned. What else? What do we do in the closure stage, if you recall?
Mm.
From project perspective, just recall project perspective.
Or for the organizational process improvements, uh, we evaluate the project outcomes
Yeah,
and then
evaluate.
change the processes as needed.
Yeah, that's for future. But if we
Yeah.
talk about current project, we make sure project is complete from all aspect.
Yeah.
It
Mm.
is functional,
Mm.
right? And then we hand over.
Mm.
Handing over. That's what we do in the transition state. And sustainment is the continuous activity. Sustaining means operations and maintenance,
Yeah.
right? For the rest of the life of the program. Operations. It's a continuous activity. Now, this is your overall program life cycle. I hope now you better understand the difference between project life cycle and program life cycle. What exactly the job of project manager and what's the job of program manager?
Mm.
Because you'll see a lot of question in the exam, who should be doing this, project manager or program manager? That's all
Mm.
with regards to program life cycle basic understanding. We'll be talking more about it, like we'll be talking in depth about activities that we will be doing because we have a separate domain for this,
Mm. Okay.
right? If you have any question about it, feel free to ask, because a lot of people confuse when the question is asked, what do we do in the so they confuse, like, okay, when project management plan is developed, they say planning. No, it's the delivery phase of program. You understand?
Mm. Mm.
Perfect. Last this
That
thing.
statement is not there in the project management, right? It's an additional step.
Yeah, sustainment is because what you do is, in project management, it's more like operational activity.
Mm.
Okay. So in
Mm.
sustainment here, what you do, you develop sustainment plans. Let's say what I mean by sustainment. Let's say you develop a product,
Mm.
right? Now the recipient organization needs to use that product. Okay. So you
Mm.
develop user manuals, right? You
Mm.
provide trainings, right? And you provide guidance how to maintain the product, how to use the product. That's what we call sustainment, right?
Mm.
Making sure that product is functional and it provides you that benefit. So it is
Mm.
integrated. So it's a
Mm.
kind of a point of collaboration between the program management team and the operations team. That's we call sustainment, sustaining benefits. Let's say you develop the product and you just hand over without any guidelines or anything. What's the point of doing that if benefits are not being realized?
Mm.
So this is what we call sustainment.
Okay.
Any question about
So
it?
it's there in the project management also. Project management life cycle also. This step is included. Hidden, but it's there.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, you're right. Not explicitly mentioned, but it is
Mm.
there. It's part of the closure. That's the
Mm.
difference.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Any question about it? Anything that we have discussed so far?
No, all clear.
Okay, perfect. Now, there are a few principles which are recently added in the latest, PGMP standard, right? Program management principles. So there are 8 principles of program management. We'll be talking about all in detail in different domains. For example, first is stakeholders. We have a separate domain for this. Stakeholders engagement, right? Because stakeholders provide support, stakeholder provide everything, right? um, Stakeholders, they are the backbone of your project and program. So you need to engage with them. If you
Mm.
need resources, funds, you need support, you need approval, you need authorization, everything would be provided by them, right? So stakeholders engagement is super important. So we'll be talking about who are your stakeholders, right? How to identify those stakeholders, everything in detail, right? And
Mm.
how stakeholders help you in providing support to your program, providing oversight, adaptability, monitoring, right? Everything. Second is benefit realization. Benefits realization. Now, in PGMP, we say benefits in a program are only realized when we integrate outcomes of various projects or multiple projects. You understand that? Same your
Yes.
example. If you want
Mm.
to manufacture car, you need engine and other different systems, right?
Mm.
This integration, right, ensures benefits realization. So benefits can only be realized if you integrate all different functions of your product. So it guides those engaged in the program to focus on generating value by aligning program outcomes with the organizational strategy, right? So, for example, when we say value or benefit, value or benefit, it keeps on changing. You understand that? We talked about it earlier, strategic alignment. It keeps on
Yes.
changing.
Mm.
So, benefit realization, it's actually how you move from current state to desired state. What is your current state? What is your desired state? And whatever you achieve in that movement, that is called value. Difference, right?
Mm.
Difference. And this difference can only be realized if you integrate different outcomes when it comes to program, right? So the outputs are combined effect of all your different components or different projects, right? So
Mm.
program output is collection of all different projects that you're doing. So integration is really important when it comes to benefits. Okay, now this benefit realization can only be done through synergy. Synergy is more like coordination, collaboration, or alignment. If your components are not aligned with each other, right, you
Mm.
cannot achieve those benefits. For example, if schedules are not aligned, right, there would be waste of resources, there would be duplication of resources. You understand that? If
Mm.
schedules are not aligned, one output will not become input to the other. So there is no benefit. So synergy is really important, right? If we want to make sure that our program realize the benefits. Then we have teams of teams. In Agile, we say Scrum of Scrum. So why we have team of teams? Sorry, team of teams. A program is a group of multiple projects. You understand that?
Yes.
Each project will be having a team, right?
Mm.
So collection of those teams form a bigger team. So team of multiple teams. You understand that? Does it make sense?
Yes.
So that's why we call it team of team. So the team of team principle is that we should not treat these teams as different groups.
Mm.
We should treat them as part of the bigger umbrella, bigger team. So two projects shouldn't be fighting with each other. They should be considering them as part of one team. You understand that? Does it make sense? So this is a concept of team of teams, right? So this is a characterization of a program. If we consider everyone as part of a bigger team, then we will be able to achieve that objective. Okay, another principle is principle of change. Programs bring change, right? So we manage program change to enhance benefit realization and delivery, to maximize benefits. And how that change is done? By modifying components, adding
Mm,
components, deleting components. We talked about the difference of change in project and program, right?
mm,
And then we have leadership, risk, and governance. Again, leadership is needed. You talked about it. As a program manager, you need to be a leader, right? Okay,
mm,
one thing is there won't be any question in the exam from these principles.
mm,
Remember this. Because exam is based on domain base, right? It is based on exam please, okay, one more clarity that you need. Your exam is based on exam content outline.
okay.
Okay, exam is not based on this standard.
Mm,
You understand that?
yes.
Same is the case. PMP is based on exam content outline and not based on PMBOK guide.
Mm,
But PMBOK guide provides enough material to prepare for the exam. Same is the case for this standard. So
mm,
this chapter 2 is not part of your exam content outline. But since it's part of standard, so I thought you shouldn't be confusing,
mm,
right? So that's
mm,
why we talked about it. So stakeholder, benefit realization, synergy, team of teams, change, leadership, risk, and governance. These are different domains that we will be discussing in next lesson. So
mm,
tomorrow when we start our lesson, we'll start our discussion with domain one. And domain one is strategic alignment, right?
mm.
Domain two is program life cycle. Then we have benefits realization, right? Then we have stakeholders engagement, which is similar to PMP. And then we have governance. So these are the 5 domains that make 100% of your course content. We'll try to complete this and this tomorrow, right? If you have any question regarding whatever we have covered today, feel free to ask. Any question.
No, till now, okay, good.
Perfect. So what you need to do is you need to read those chapters, right?
Mm,
Chapter 1 we have covered. Chapter 2 is all about principles. It's very basic, right? In
mm,
case you couldn't understand anything, you can ask me, right?
okay.
And chapter 3 is about names of these domains. So I would suggest read chapter 3, okay? Because
Mm,
each chapter is 2 to 3 pages or 4 pages, right?
mm,
And chapter 3 is a little longer. Try to read it, but ultimately we will be covering it in detail, okay?
okay.
Yeah, so just a second. Chapter, let me see, chapter 3, yes. Yeah, chapter 3. We will be talking about chapter 3 tomorrow, but if you get time, you can read it. But first 2 chapter, that's your main homework. Rest we
Oh,
will be covering and you can read later. If you
mm.
find time, you can read before, but it's up to you. Okay, that's it.
Chapter 1 and 2 I should cover
Yes.
if I get time. Mostly I'll not be getting time,
Yeah,
but
one or two is enough. One or two
okay.
is enough.
Okay.
All right, Anju, I'll see you tomorrow. And tomorrow we will be talking about real program stuff, right? What
Okay.
is,
Mm,
you know, strategic alignment and how actually programs are executed. And
okay.
we'll be jumping to mock tests as well.
All right. Okay. So we will be doing the mock test like we did for the project management PMP.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Mock tests are really, really important. Without mock tests, this exam would be really, really challenging. So we'll be
Mm,
doing mock tests.
okay.
Okay. All right, Anju. Thank you so much.
Okay, Amar.
And
Yeah, thank you. So tomorrow also same time, right?
just to make things easier for you, maybe we can try a little early. I'll confirm, right? I'll
Okay.
because it's too late for you. I think it's 1 o'clock at your place, right?
Yeah, but that's okay. I'm okay. But let me know if we can do it little bit earlier. Maybe.
Okay, sure, sure. I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Anju. Take care.
Okay, Amar. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.